University Challenge. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello. 8 teams have been stretched on the rack of the quarter-final stage of this contest. 3 of them could take no more and have gone home. Another 3 made of sterner stuff are through to the semi-finals. They are University College London, New College Oxford and Manchester University. For tonight's 2 teams, the torment is almost over because they each have 1 quarter-final victory behind them as well as 1 defeat. So whichever of them wins tonight will take the 1 remaining place in the semi-finals. Now, the last time a team from Bangor University made the semi-finals was in 1999, but this team has made a valiant attempt to emulate that achievement. They beat the University of St Andrews in round 1, Durham University in round 2 and Imperial College London in one of their quarter-final matches, but they lost another quarter-final to University College London, so a win tonight is essential if they're to go any further. Let's meet the Bangor team again.
Hello, I'm Adam Pearce. I'm from Barry in South Wales and I'm studying for a PhD in Translation Studies.
Hi, I'm Mark Stevens. I'm from Winnington in Cheshire and I'm studying Environmental Science.
Their captain?
Hi, I'm Nina Grant. I'm from Enfield in London and I'm studying for a degree in French and Linguistics.
Hello, I'm Simon Tomlinson. I'm originally from Manchester. I'm studying for a PhD in Neuropsychology.
The team from King's College, Cambridge are almost part of the furniture now, as this is their 6th appearance. They lost their first round match, but survived by the reprieve granted to the highest scoring losers, then won their playoff and their second round match. In the quarterfinals, they lost to New College, Oxford, but then beat only just the team from Pembroke College, Cambridge. Let's have the pleasure of seeing them introduce themselves again.
Hi, I'm Curtis Gallant. I'm from North London and I'm studying classics.
Hello, I'm Amber Ace. I'm from Creef in Perthshire and I'm also studying classics.
And this is their captain.
Hi, I'm Fran Middleton. I'm from Chorleywood in Hertfordshire and I'm doing a PhD in classics.
Hi, I'm James Greatrex. I'm from Leeds and I'm reading physics.
Right, let's crack on with it. Fingers on the buzzers. Here's your first starter question. The UN Conference on Environment and Development in Rio de Janeiro in 1992 and its successors in 1997 and 2002 are commonly known by what 2-word name?
King's Greatrex.
Kyoto Accord?
Nope.
Bangor Stevens.
Rio Summit.
No, they're known as Earth Summits. 10 points for this. Answer as soon as you buzz. Erythro, leuco and cyano are prefixes denoting which triplet of colours?
King's Ace.
Red, yellow and blue, the primary colours.
No, Bangor, one of you buzz.
Bangor Stevens.
Red, white and black.
No, it's red, white and blue. 10 points for this. What 6-letter word can precede bagger, bombing and shark?
Bangor Tomlinson.
Carpet.
Carpet is correct, yes. So, Bangor, the first set of bonuses are on existentialism. Which French philosopher's maxim, existence precedes essence, has been described as the most succinct statement of existentialism?
Sartre.
Correct. Sometimes described as one of the founders of existentialism, which German philosopher's works include Reason and Existence? Persecuted by the Nazis, he remained in Germany until after the war.
Nominate Stevens.
Heidegger.
No, it's Karl Jaspers. Born in Copenhagen in 1813, who is the first modern philosopher to be commonly described as an existentialist?
Kierkegaard.
Correct. 10 points for this starter question. Which French scientist's law of fluid pressure states that the pressure in a fluid exerts a force of constant magnitude on...
Bangor Tomlinson.
Pascal.
Pascal is correct. These bonuses, Bangor, are on a Greek island. According to Herodotus, which Aegean island was notable for its Temple of Hera and the Tunnel of Eupalinos, an early aqueduct? Both now form part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Crete.
No, it's Samos. A native of Samos, which 3rd century astronomer anticipated Copernicus by asserting that the Earth moves around the sun?
Heraclitus.
No, it's Aristarchus. And finally, born in Samos around 570 BC, which scientist and mystic founded a religious colony in south Italy and is credited with a large number of mathematical discoveries?
Pythagoras.
Correct. 10 points for this. Proust à la recherche du temps perdu and other series of novels linked by common characters or preoccupations are sometimes referred to by what two-word French term literally meaning river novel?
Bangor Grant.
Roman fleuve.
Correct. These bonuses are on the documentaries of Werner Herzog. Firstly, for 5 points, the 2010 3D film Cave of Forgotten Dreams saw Herzog gain exclusive access to which cave in southern France discovered in 1994?
Lascaux.
No, it's the Chauvet Cave. The late environmentalist and bear activist Timothy Treadwell is the title subject of which 2005 documentary?
Grizzly Man.
Correct. The 1999 documentary My Best Fiend concerns Herzog's relationship with which German actor reputed to be somewhat difficult? He played the title roles in Herzog's films Fitzcarraldo and Nosferatu.
Fritz Lang.
No.
He's a director.
Huh?
He's a director. If you don't go Fritz Lang,
Fritz Lang.
Fritz Lang! No, it's Klaus Kinski. 10 points for this. A blending of two Latin words meaning boundary and threshold. What term denotes a horizontal piece of timber or stone placed over a door, window or fireplace to discharge the weight resting on it?
Bangor Tomlinson.
Lintel.
Lintel is correct. These bonuses are on 20th century US presidents. After his second term of office, which president retired to Independence, Missouri to write his memoirs? He received the first Medicare card when the scheme began in 1965.
Someone in the 50s. No. He's dead.
Eisenhower.
No, it's Harry S. Truman. 8 years after his term of office, which former president became Chief Justice of the United States, the only person to have held both offices?
20th century. The one that did the League of Nations. What's his name? Woodrow Wilson.
Woodrow Wilson.
No, it was William Howard Taft. And finally, more than 20 years after his presidency, which 20th century president received the Nobel Peace Prize for his work on conflict resolution and advancing human rights?
Jimmy Carter.
Correct. We're going to take a picture round. For your picture starter, you will see a stylized version of the Beatus map, an influential 8th century Mappa Mundi drawn by the Spanish monk Beatus of Livenia. For 10 points, I want you to give me the modern English name of the highlighted river.
Bangor Tomlinson.
The Nile.
It is the Nile, yes. Your picture bonuses are 3 more areas highlighted on that map. I simply want you to identify the place Beatus located at each point. Firstly, for 5, I want the name of this city.
Jerusalem.
Correct. Secondly, I want the name of this country.
India.
Correct. Finally, please, the name of this island.
Britain.
Correct. 10 points for this. Begun during the reign of Vespasian in around AD 70 to 72, which elliptical structure is said to have taken its name from the giant statue of Nero?
Kings Middleton.
The Colossus.
No, you lose 5 points. It's said to have taken its name from the giant statue of Nero that stood nearby in the Via Sacra.
Bangor Stevens.
Colosseum.
Colosseum is correct, yes. Right, your bonuses are on asexual reproduction in plants. I'll describe 3 vegetative structures. I want the botanical term for each. Firstly, the horizontal underground stem seen in stinging nettles. It grows and branches in soil, rooting at nodes to produce new plantlets.
Rhizomes.
Correct. The bud-like masses of cells, often in the form of cups or discs, that become detached and grow into new plants. They're characteristic of certain liverworts and some flowering plants, for example, sundew.
Nominate Stevens.
Are they Sori?
No, they're not. They're Jimmy. And finally, horizontal stems arising from axillary buds seen in plants such as strawberries. They grow along the surface of the ground and new plantlets arise from nodes.
Nominate Stevens.
Mycorrhiza?
No, they're runners or stolen. 10 points for this. From a verb meaning to thrash or beat, what adjective is applied to an extra weight carried in horse racing and also to a boxer or wrestler who's between a lightweight and a middleweight?
Bangor Grant.
Welter.
Welter is correct. Right, these bonuses are on a car manufacturer, one of the biggest flops in motor industry history. The 1958 Edsel car was named after the son of which manufacturer?
Henry Ford.
Correct. Born 1891, which Sardinian Marxist coined the term Fordism to illustrate how new American production techniques signal the start of a new epoch in capitalist development?
Italian Marxists. 91. Italian Marxists.
No. Pass.
It's Antonio Gramsci. And finally, the jungle city of Fordlandia was Ford's attempt to create small-town America and secure cheap rubber in the rainforest of which country?
Indonesia. Indonesia. There's lots of rubber in Indonesia.
Indonesia.
That was Brazil. 10 points for this. In mathematics, what term describes real numbers with terminating or eventually periodic decimal expansion? In everyday language, the same word refers to...
King's Greatrex.
Rational.
Correct. OK, your bonuses are on artists born in the 1880s, King's College. Active mainly in Paris, which Italian artist is noted for portraiture, characterised by asymmetrical compositions and elongated figures? His dissolute lifestyle contributed to an early death from tuberculosis.
It's not Klimt, is it? I don't know if that's...
I don't know. Klimt.
No, it's Modigliani, noted for his depictions of Montmartre. Which French artist received the name by which he is known from a Spanish art critic who recognised him as his son in order to help him?
Montmartre, was that?
Yeah.
Well, I think that was Toulouse, but like Toulouse-Lautrec.
Toulouse-Lautrec?
No, it's Utrillo. Which Russian-born artist and designer is noted for his illustrations of La Fontaine's fables and for stained glass such as that in Tudley Church in Kent? He gives his name to a museum in Nice.
No. Nominate Gallant.
Chagall, I don't know.
It is Marc Chagall, yes. Right, 10 points for this. Which city in the French Basque country is noted for the production of both a sweet liqueur called Izara and an air-dried salted ham, and is believed to have given its name to an edged weapon, usually fixed...
Bangor Tomlinson.
Bayonne.
Bayonne is correct, yes. Your bonuses this time are on game designers. Known as the father of computer gaming, which creator of so-called God games is noted for the Civilization and Railroad Tycoon series?
Sid Meier.
Nominate Pierce.
Sid Meier.
Correct. Called the father of modern video games, which Japanese designer is the creator of Nintendo's Super Mario Bros., Donkey Kong and Legend of Zelda franchises?
Miyazaki.
Does anyone... OK, do you know?
No.
Anyone? Pass.
That's Shigeru Miyamoto. And finally, creator of a gaming style that emphasised learning and invention, the US designer Will Wright developed which 1989 game that let players build their own virtual urban worlds?
SimCity's the first.
Okay. SimCity.
Correct. Right, we're going to take a music round. You'll hear an excerpt for your music starter from a classical oratorio. 10 points if you can give me the biblical figure after whom the oratorio is named.
Bangor Pierce.
Jesus the Messiah?
No, you can hear a little more, King's College.
King's Middleton.
Bathsheba?
No, it's St Matthew. It's part of Bach's St Matthew Passion. So, music bonuses shortly. 10 points for a starter question in the meantime. Listen carefully. Answer as soon as your name is called. If a ball is cast straight up at 20 metres per second and the acceleration due to gravity is 10 metres per second squared, then what is the maximum height of the ball?
Banker Stevens.
2 metres.
No. Kings, one of you buzz?
King's Ace.
1 metre?
1 metre? No, it's 20 metres. So, another starter question. Which Russian-born poet was sentenced to internal exile for social parasitism in 1964 and moved to the United States in the 1970s, where he published collections such as A Part of Speech? He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in
Banker Pierce.
Alexander Solzhenitsyn?
No, you lose 5 points. Nobel Prize for Literature in 1978.
King's Ace.
Bakhtin.
No, it was Joseph Brodsky. During the 1980s, which cabinet position was held by Lord Carrington, Francis Pym, Geoffrey Howe?
Banker Tomlinson.
Defence Secretary, or Minister for Defence.
There you lose 5 points. Geoffrey Howe, John Major and Douglas Hurd.
King's Greatrex.
Home Office?
No, it was Foreign Secretary. 10 points for this. Listen carefully. The SI unit of time, the second, is defined in reference to the transition between two...
King's Greatrex.
Cesium?
Cesium is correct, yes. Right, so we go back to the music questions we were looking at earlier, I'm afraid to tell you. Follow on from that music starter, which was from the St Matthew Passion. Your music bonus is 3 more classical pieces, all inspired by biblical figures. In each case, I simply want you to name the figure or figures singing. Firstly, for 5, the name of these 2 figures singing after whom the work is named.
Samson and Delilah?
It is, yes, yes. By Sanson. Secondly, the name of this figure singing after whom the work is named.
Elijah.
It is Elijah, yes. And finally, the name of these 2 biblical figures singing.
Herod and Salome? Solomon and the Queen of Sheba?
No, it's Adam and Eve from the Haydn's Creation. So, 10 points for this starter question. I've lost my eldest son, but I am glad, referring to their mutual hostility. These were the words of which British monarch on receiving the news of the death of his son, Prince Frederick, the Prince of Wales?
King's Greatrex.
George III?
Anyone want to buzz from Bangor?
Banker Grant.
George II?
It was George II, yes. Your bonuses are on an economist. The Canadian-born US economist Myron S. Scholes shared the 1997 Nobel Prize with Robert C. Merton for a new method of determining the value of which financial contracts, their name being a generic term for futures, options and swaps.
Derivatives.
Correct. Along with Scholes, who gives his name to an options pricing model that led to the development of a major new financial market? It enables traders to diversify risk.
An open market?
No, it's Fisher-Black, the Black-Scholes formula. And finally, Scholes has been called the intellectual father of which instrument, an insurance-like contract that promises to cover losses on certain securities in the event of a default?
The hedge fund?
No, it's a credit default swap. 10 points for this. Richard Wagner was inspired to create which opera of 1843 by his experience 4 years earlier of a dangerous sea crossing from Riga...
King's Ace.
The Flying Dutchman.
Yes. Yeah. Right, these bonuses are on geometry, King's College. What formula gives the volume of a ball of radius r in 3 dimensions?
4/3 pi r cubed.
No, isn't.
Just nominate.
Nominate Greatrex.
4/3 pi r cubed.
Correct. Which 2 names are associated with the paradox proving a ball of radius 1 can be decomposed into a finite number of pieces, which can then be reassembled to form 2 new balls of radius 1?
I know of the paradox, but it is gone.
It's not Riemann. It's not like Riemann.
Yeah, it's a modern paradox. I don't know it.
Smith-Wilson.
No, it's the Banach-Tarski paradox. The Banach-Tarski theorem relies on which axiom of set theory, which, to paraphrase Russell, is necessary to select one sock from each of infinitely many pairs, but is not necessary for shoes?
The axiom of choice.
Correct. Right, 10 points for the starter question. In human anatomy, what part of the upper respiratory tract is posterior to the buccal and nasal cavities and superior to the esophagus and larynx?
Bangor Tomlinson.
The pharynx.
Correct. These bonuses are on French detectives, Bangor. In each case, I want the surname of the fictional character described and his creator. A character who made his first appearance in the 1841 short story Murders in the Rue Morgue before the word detective existed. His surname relates to a pine tree or trees.
I think it's like, did he say country or trees? Trees. Inspector of the Rue Morgue. And it's, inspector, do something. Okay. Du sautoir. Is it? No, it's a physician. Oh, correct.
Come on.
Dupont and Edgar Allan Poe.
It's Dupin. Edgar Allan Poe, bad luck. A detective who appeared in more than 70 novels, secondly, from 1931 to 72. His surname means thin person.
It's Maigret.
Maigret.
And?
Georges Simenon.
Correct. And finally, a detective who made his first appearance in a film of 1963. The two elements of his surname mean nail and bucket.
And who created? Created? No. But Blake, what was the name? Blake? Director Blake.
Let's have it, please.
Clouseau, but we can't remember the creator.
It was Blake Edwards.
Edwards.
Can't give you the point, I'm afraid. So we're going to take another picture round. You're going to see a portrait of a scientist. 10 points if you can tell me her name.
Bangor Tomlinson.
Marie Curie.
Nope. Anyone tell me from King's?
King's Greatrex.
Ada Lovelace.
No, it's not. It's Caroline Herschel. So we'll take another starter question and pick up the picture bonuses shortly. South Sudan became the world's newest nation in July 2011 with an independent ceremony in which city, serving as its...
King's Gallant.
Juba.
Juba is correct, yes. Right, you saw, though you failed to identify, the astronomer Caroline Herschel, who was named one of the most influential British women in the history of science by Fellows of the Royal Society in 2010. For your picture bonuses, you're going to see photographs of 3 more British scientists who made that list. 5 points for each you can identify. Firstly, for 5, this crystallographer.
Is that Rosalind Franklin?
Rosalind Franklin.
No, that's Kathleen Lonsdale. Secondly, this physician.
Harriet James.
No, that's Elizabeth Garrett Anderson. And finally, this chemist.
Is that the one who trained Margaret Thatcher? What was her name?
Don't know her name. We have any names? Sorry, we don't know.
That's Dorothy Hodgkin. Right, 10 points for this. Also known as the Cryptozoic, what term, deriving in part from a Latin name for whales, denotes the span of geological time that
King's Greatrex.
Cenozoic.
No, that
Bangor Pierce.
Cambrian.
No, it was the Precambrian. You should have let me finish the question. We'll carry on with another starter question. Customs in Common, Whigs and Hunters, and The Making of the English Working Class are among the works of which historian who died in 1993?
Bangor Tomlinson.
Eric Hobsbawm.
No, anyone want to buzz from King's College?
King's Gallant.
Toynbee.
No, it was E.P. Thompson. 10 points for this. Founded in 1971 by Michael Stern Hart, which internet project provides free online access to thousands of e-books and is named after a German...
Bangor Pierce.
Project Gutenberg.
Correct. Right, these bonuses, Bangor, are on the works of Thomas Paine. Firstly, an expression of republicanism, which 1791 work was Paine's answer to Edmund Burke's attack on the uprising of the French people in Reflections on the Revolution in France.
Common sense. It's common sense. Is it Thomas Paine? Yeah. Common sense, I think, before.
Common Sense.
No, it was The Rights of Man. Published in Philadelphia in 1776, which anti-monarchical pamphlet by Paine sold more than 500,000 copies within a few months.
Common sense.
That was common sense. Deistic in its political philosophy, which 1794 pamphlet was his last major work and was an exposition of the place of religion in society. It contributed to his notoriety as an atheist.
Sorry, pass.
The Age of Reason. 3 minutes to go, 10 points for this. Appearing in the dictionary between sublunary and submachine gun, what medical term denotes a partial dislocation or displacement?
Bangor Grant.
Subluxation.
Correct. These bonuses are on physics now, Bangor. A particle whose position x obeys the differential equation d2x dt squared equals minus omega squared x is said to be executing what kind of motion?
It's not speeding up. Slowing down.
Acceleration.
Let's have it, please.
Acceleration?
No, it's simple harmonic motion. In terms of omega, what is the frequency of oscillation of the particle?
I don't know.
Pass, sorry.
It's omega over 2 pi. And finally, an oscillator which is not oscillating in simple harmonic motion is known as what?
Stationary. Broken. Stationary? Stationary. Non-uniform.
Stationary.
No, it's an anharmonic oscillator. 10 points for this. What adjective may describe both a star with an unusually high velocity and an electron that acquires energy from an electric field at a greater rate?
Kings Middleton.
Free.
No, you lose 5 points. Greater rate than it loses through particle collision. I'll tell you, it's Runaway. 10 points for this. Subtitled The London Charivari, which illustrated weekly...
Bangor Tomlinson.
Punch.
Punch is correct, yes. Bonuses this time on Man Booker Prize-winning novels by Indian authors. Firstly, which novel tells the story of the twins Rahel and Esther and their return to their family home after having been apart from one another for 25 years? Come on, let's have it, please.
The suitable boy.
A suitable boy.
No, it's The God of Small Things. The action of which novel takes place in the mid-1980s in 2 locations, a Himalayan town and New York?
Suitable boy.
Should we say the same one again?
Have you read it?
Suitable boy. Whatever.
Let's have it,
Okay,
please.
sorry, we don't know.
It's The Inheritance of Loss. And finally, which novel is written in the form of a series of letters to the Chinese premier by the son of a rickshaw puller who becomes a businessman?
I'm sorry, we don't know that one either.
That's White Tiger. 10 points for this. In mathematics, vigesimal means related to, based on, or proceeding by intervals of what number?
King's Gallant.
20.
Correct. Your bonuses now are on rivers and their fauna. Which major river gives its name to a species of antelope, crocodile, perch and monitor lizard?
Nile.
Correct. Which river in China gives its name to a species of dolphin, also known as Bai?
Yangtze.
And that Yangtze is correct, yes. Well, King's College, I'm afraid it's goodbye. But, I mean, considering you lost your first round match, didn't you? I mean, it's a terrific achievement to get as far as the quarterfinals, so congratulations anyway. You go with your heads held high. Bangor 195 is a terrific score. We should look forward to seeing you in the semi-finals. Well done. I hope you can join us next time for the first of those semi-finals. But until then, it's goodbye from King's College, Cambridge.
Bye. Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Bangor University.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.